Yume is a 2D pixel art game in which you fall asleep and walk from world to world collecting different costumes that sometimes give you abilities that you could need. There's no goal, no purpose, and no direction. So what about it makes it one of the best artistic experiences I've ever had? Well, Yume is a game that you might half know. You might fully know its predecessor, Yume. It was a indie Japanese horror game from 1998 and invented the genre that Yume is in. And while Yume kind of just keeps itself into the horror and confusing aspects of this genre, Yume branches out. While Yume does keep those horror aspects and is liminal and haunting and deeply strange at times, it can also spontaneously become uplifting, serene, and beautiful. It embraces you in this inescapable bear hug through its art and its music that you don't want to leave. You connect so easily and deeply to this game that it can feel like another home. Now, this other home is always changing and never static, but you can feel yourself becoming a part of the world that this character inhabits. The feeling of easy traversal does not come unearned. You need to learn the map, which is made by the community of the game, because in Yume you are always online and able to chat with other players. Many of them have been exploring, expanding, and curating this dreamscape for up to 2 decades. And with that community behind you, you feel that isolation that you held in Yume slip away from you, and the horror that you felt, that edge that cut you, feels blunted. You can start to appreciate the aspects of the game that exist in the in-between states of those moments of tension and fear. This is why the feeling of liminality is so integral to this game's artistic success. Liminality means to exist between 2 states. It is often portrayed as a feeling that an image can give you. For example, a mall after hours, a suburban sprawl with no one in sight, or walking out of detention when you were a kid. These are all liminal feeling situations. Yume holds on to that feeling by having you explore these worlds with very few people in them. You never think about it, but your subconscious can take notice. It's a game that I've never fully understood, yet has never stopped feeling comfortable to me. On the internet, discussion is ghost quiet but ever present. Its influence is deep and far-reaching, but it's rarely talked about online. It's like an old stuffed animal that you probably have access to, but why bring it up? Everyone has one, but someone asks or makes a reference about it, and suddenly you can remember more. You feel details you didn't realize you had boil up from your subconscious, and you can remember what animal it was, how soft it was, and the warmth it gave you. The events that made that stuffed animal comfortable in the first place. Unlike other games, Yume does not beg or fight for attention. It does not send you notifications or fight for you. It has no tight mechanics, no clever writing, and no addictive gameplay loop. It waits quietly in the back of your mind, not maliciously, politely, waiting until you pull out that thought of it again. And remember the times you had sitting in the same screen for 30 minutes appreciating one piece of music or one piece of art, or the time you used the specific song in one of the worlds to study during an exam week that you didn't realize was going to be as tough as it was. Many people fight about if video games are art, and Yume transcends that discussion entirely and politely yet forcibly sits in its category of art. Other games scream at you with massive set pieces and writing that makes you think that every character is so deep and thought out, where in reality they probably aren't. Halo, for example, added more and more bloat until the game resembled nothing of art, and was rather just a game that told you every detail about itself. Yume allows you to contemplate, allows you to dream. It leaves itself open to your own interpretation. No game studio of 3,000 people needed. The power of interpretation is what truly defines art. And in art, you have people that paint the world like it is, like Bob Ross. You have people who paint garish idealizations like Thomas Kinkade. And you have people who leave their works untitled and uninterpreted like Zolwa Binczynski. In each of those wildly different examples, I'm already interpreting their art. I call Kincaid's paintings garish because of their use of color. I assume that Binczynski didn't want his art interpreted due to the way that he named them. And I also say that Bob Ross painted the world as it is when in reality he painted them for people who want to learn how to paint. And the meaning that you draw from their art isn't always the same as the artist's intentions, and that's exactly what makes art art. The visuals of Yume speak to this definition of art. They speak in this dream logic, surrealism, symbolism. Are the characters that wake you up in the game evil, or are they just trying to bring you back to reality because you're so deep in a dream? You don't know because you interpret them as evil because they reset your progress. But your progress is falling deeper and deeper into this reality that isn't your own. Maybe they're doing you a favor. Another example of interpretation is the main character non-binary? They are ungendered and they use different effects to appear more masculine or feminine, but ultimately what their gender is up to you. Not to limit ourselves to the scene, the soundtrack also remains in a state of flux and interpretation. You experience a shift of sonic experience from whimsical to terrifying and then back to melancholy peace all in the same hour, while at the same time not exactly telling you what to feel, but remaining as something to embolden your interpretation of the space that you are currently in that moment. This allows us to experience those emotions on multiple levels, much like the game itself, which is built on different levels of the dreams that you traverse and fall deeper and deeper inside of. However, all of this comes with two massive questions. What is the point of doing something with no goal, and why should I care about wandering to no end? These sorts of questions are exactly why art exists, because without realizing it, those questions sneak past your mental defenses and allow you to open those doors of thought without realizing it. These questions are more massive to your life than you would expect. It's exactly what people start to think to themselves when they start questioning the world around them. But this cute, cryptic game allows you to realize that you can be happy wandering from world to world, doing nothing, because you're making your own goals that only matter to yourself. The fact that this game is always online allows you to experience and understand a part of those questions that other types of art fail at entirely, because people matter. The community of Yume is one of the most polite and kind, and when you make friends, they will explore with you and experience with you, just like in real life. We need to keep others with us, because though our goals are our own, and that solves question number one, those we care about and the experiences that we share with them is why we wander to no end. Since this is a game about experience, I did want to end this with my own experience. I played this game when I needed an escape, and every other game I play does not feel like an escape to me. I'm a game developer, and that means that most games feel like homework to me, and I break them down, I mod them, and I put them back together. But Yume has never felt like that. It's never felt like I can, because it always felt like an alive thing to me. It was always something I never needed to understand, which made it very relaxing to me and allowed me to feel that escape. But when the world takes a breath and no one is speaking and no one is around, I feel personally calm. This game allows me to keep that with me and always have access to that feeling whenever I need it. Not to mention the community, which really isn't a fandom anymore, but a collective of digital pilgrims that build maps, share theories, preserve mysteries, and through all of that, just play. The game becomes this sort of silent conversation, a shared dream. Even the unsettling aspects feel softened, and in this shared space, you know that you're not alone because someone's footsteps have always been there before yours. I truly love this game. I hope I have made that obvious. Have a great day. Goodbye.